Hey, happy summer, everybody. I hope everybody's coleus are doing well as we get into the summer heat. Um, Things are really progressing, as I mentioned in my other videos. Really, what I want to do today is go over what. Now, I'm again in New Jersey, so if you're in a relative growth zone, or even if you're in the south, if you're in the United States and you're in a warmer climate, so forth, you're going to be experiencing pretty much the same conditions as I am. You know, a lot of extreme hot, humidity, thunderstorms, rain, so forth, insects. As I go over my crazy giant Coleus collection here that just seems to keep going on and on and on and on. So I'm going to go over a couple of things that, now that it is getting into summer, 3 or 4 things that you're going to need. Scissors, insect soap, some insect repellent, and a good quality plant food. I use Miracle Grow, but any kind of name brand plant food. It doesn't have to be for flowers. This is just for general purpose plant food. It's great for coleus. All right, let's start now with the scissors. Scissors, all your pretty much the whole season. You know, once they start going, and you need your scissors, obviously, to start trimming. See how some of these are kind of hanging over in their weight here. You want to start trimming to get a lot of that growth coming in. What I mean is, like for that one, you don't want to see these go, but it's a necessary evil. So you need to cut those and say goodbye. Same with over here. You have this big monster here. You have some leaves with some holes or insect damage, and which we're gonna get into in a minute. You got to say goodbye. I know you're saying, I say the same thing. That's like the whole plant, but it's necessary to get your coleus to grow in. Here we got that definitely has to go. So we'll get rid of that. So, and that goes for all of these. You see that new growth coming in here. So I'm going to go through all these and start trimming them. A lot of them are pretty trimmed already. They're well trimmed, so I'm not going to mess with them. Well, you can see they grow 2 by 2 by 2. So see those 2 new right there? I'm going to pinch those off. I'm going to pinch those off because that's it. We don't want it. We want all that new growth coming in. These bottom ones here, I'm going to cut off. So similar with this, we want to trim those. So that's what you need your scissors for. All right, I got some questions, comment or two from some subscribers about insects. I don't have any real insect problems. My other coleus that I have outdoors, which I'll get to, will have a better chance of getting insects. I'm lucky in my greenhouse I don't get any insect damage, but if you do, and you'll know your insect damage because your leaves will have a bunch of holes in them. So what you need to do is trim those damaged leaves off. As long as you have that growth coming in, cut those damaged leaves off. But what you definitely need to get is this brand. This is Safer, or the heat in the greenhouse is done Safer brand, but any insect killing soap. And these basically Aphids, mealybugs, whiteflies, those are your common insects, common pests that like to live and eat your coleus leaves. So what you need to do with this stuff is gently spray underneath. Just give it a real shot, and this will prevent your insects. And you just give that a shot a couple of times a week or so, just until you see your insect problem go. And of course, being outdoors here, not only are the plants getting bit, but we are too. So I like to use the deep woods off, the dry stuff. So I kind of use that stuff. So, and again, Miracle-Gro plant food. I just gave the Miracle-Gro to all of my plants here, and I mix a tablespoon in 2-gallon container of water, mix it up real good, and I give the Coleus a good shot of the Miracle-Gro once a month. So you want to, now that we're in the growing season, you want to make sure you give it some fertilization only through the growing season. Give it a good shot of Miracle-Gro at least once a month, and it'll keep your Coleus happy. So got some larger ones. There's that Coleus tree I had mentioned, and here's another example of a Coleus that needs the leaves to be trimmed. You got some giant leaves there. It's very hard for one person, for me, to try to keep up on all of these plants. There's a nice little arrangement. Some nice colors. Again, that's as tall as I want it, so any new growth that I see on the top, I trim. Same here, you got those leaves on the bottom. See that the two new growths there on the top? I'm going to snip those off. Get that growth, just continually keeps that growth coming in. But at this point, during the growing season, you want to make sure you fertilize it. Give it that shot of Miracle-Gro. Again, in a sprayer, I like to use these water cans. So you just mix the table. It comes with the spoon, and you mix it in. You can see here I got my hanging baskets, and you can hear my Yorkie Beauregard. That's a nice, again, lots of growth coming in. I just gave all these a good shot of the Miracle-Gro. It's been raining the past couple of days and nights. We've had some very humid, misty rain, not heavy rain, so I put these out, gave them a good shot. Again, there's nothing like natural rain, so I got lots of beautiful color. Here's another beautiful arrangement. This is a little hanger. Hangs on a fence or whatever. It's a single. You can see it's facing towards the sun, so you want to change it, move it around, get all that undergrowth coming in. So again, in the summertime, you're going to get your insects pretty much almost guaranteed. So just use this insect killing spray soap. You not put a lot on, just spritz it. Make sure you get it underneath and on the top. Again, in my greenhouse, I don't have too much of a problem with insects because I keep the fan going, and insects don't like that. They don't like that. They like a nice, calm, shady leaf to hang out underneath. And if it's all breezy, windy with the fan, they're going to go find somewhere else to live. Got a couple of, again, don't worry if some of your coleus don't make it. I have, I grow a pretty large crop here, and I did have, this year, this is probably the worst spring I've had, and I've been doing this for about 8 years. This is absolutely the worst growing season I've had. I've had far more failures, sickly plants than before. It was just a very cold start, a lot of up and down temps, no real good sustained heat till just about the past 2 weeks. It's just when we're starting to get sustained heat. But we're just starting to get that nice humidity that we need. So again, here's an example of a leaf that needs to be cut. So I'll go through all these now. Lots of little colors, those kind of stalled out, but I love the colors on these. Some damaged leaves you got to go through and cut. Don't worry about these leaves. You see leaves that don't look good like that, you just cut them. Don't worry about the insects. Use that spray soap. It's safe too. There's no harmful chemicals, so like anything, you don't want to breathe it in. But it definitely works. How much water do I give these? I just gave them a nice drink here. All my pots are well drained, so that's the main thing. So I can give them a little. When I know they need a good shot of water, I give them a good shot of water. But I know they're going to drain. All my trays here are drains. Again, the hanging baskets really need a good trimming, but I kind of let them go wild here. So, coleus are great in hanging baskets once they take off. They really fill out very nicely, and this is going to be. What's nice about this is here, it's June, it's the end of June, July 4th, July 3rd, but straight through October, right through the frost, you have a nice hanging basket. And coleus like these here, you can bring inside. There's no reason why you can't keep your coleus alive all year long. They're in a little pot like this. Just bring it inside. As long as it gets a nice sunlit window. Doesn't have to be direct sun. These are nice, these little rectangular window box. How about this coleus? How about that? That's that finger paint. Is that nice or what? And that's a finger paint kaleidoscope, people call them. But doesn't that fill out really nice? And again, this is as high as I'm going to let this go. This is an 8-inch hanging basket. And just trim the leaves as they get damaged and old looking. I don't let it grow any taller than this. I cut off any new of the top shoots. So there's another pretty one. Look at that fuchsia, that bright. Does that grab your attention or what? That's beautiful, isn't it? And notice the centers. I have them all trimmed. There's nothing. Those center stalks are cut. I'm getting those new leaves coming in there, and that's it. I don't let them grow any taller. Get all that new growth, and that's how you fill them out. That's how you get all that new. There's a couple of dead leaves in there. I got to get rid of. It's another important thing to do. Make sure you get all any organic waste that's not supposed to be there. Dead leaves, twigs, and so forth. You scrape those out of there because that can cause some problems. How about that one? That's beautiful, isn't it? So again, insects, no worries. Use your insect soap. Keep your coleus trimmed. Make sure well watered and trimmed, well watered. And once a month, give them your Miracle Grow plant food once a month, and they'll be fine straight through to October. Once your Coleus are indoors in the winter and they're on, you start to hibernate. You don't fertilize when they start going into dormancy rather than hibernation. I'm sorry, dormancy is what I meant. Once you're in your dormant stage, you don't fertilize. But right now we're in the peak growing season. Make sure you fertilize them. All right, thanks for watching. Any questions, comments, please feel free to ask. Always get back to you. Appreciate your following. Appreciate everybody who subscribes. Pass my channel along. If you want to grow tremendous, beautiful Coleus like this, take a look through all my videos. I have I have years of videos, and I go through pretty much every aspect of Coleus, from harvesting seeds to collecting seeds to storing them, greenhousing, planting them, pods, caring for the young ones straight through to the frost. So, all right, so thank you very much for watching, and look forward to our next Jim's Holiest of Coleus video. Take care, everybody.